What's up guys, it's Cosmic. So today we're going to be looking at combat axe locations for Hunted, and this map was suggested by a player by the name of Flav, and so I will link his channel in the description below, so definitely go check him out. And if you have any suggestions for another map, leave them in the comments below. A few of you have asked for me to do Nuketown on my previous video, and just a little heads up that I will be posting that later this week, shortly after this video goes up, so keep an eye out for that. But for now we're doing Hunted, and I did my best this time to find more than kind of one spot for each type of throw. If you noticed in my combine video, I kind of just had one spawn spot from each side and then one straight up from each side. I did my best to find about two for each side, except for the spawn spots I only have one. However, I have multiple straight ups to B and then multiple straight ups to other high population spots or camper friendly spots that I will show you in a bit. So I'm going to start off showing you a spawn spot to A, then we'll swap and I'll show you a spawn spot to C from A, and then we'll get into all the straight ups and things like that. So starting out, spawn spot to A from C. All players obviously spawn back here. So what you're going to do is walk up to this rock over here, and this little rock kind of meets the bigger one here, and there's a little kind of crack you can walk into, and you'll stop. And I found it kind of depends on where the players on A decide to, lay or sit when they capture the flag. I've stood like here before, and works just as well. It just changes the landing zone a bit. But for the most part, this one will work just fine. So you'll notice I can't really move side to side if I'm in the right spot here. So line up there, and then what you want to do is look up, line bottom crosshair up with A, and you want to look up till your bottom crosshair is on this part of the roof here, along here. And so just make sure you line up with A along the bottom there, and get your bottom crosshair there, and you'll throw it, and it'll go through the hole there, and then you can move it a little bit to change it a bit, and throw another one. Alright, so as you can see, the axes land on the front side of A here, and most players that spawn on this side will capture A. Rarely do players go this direction and rush B, and so you usually have plenty of targets to aim for here, and so you'll land those axes on the front side of A, and usually at least one will catch a player sitting on the flag. Alright, so now we're going to cover the spot from A to C, and both spawns are actually fairly far from the flag, so you have plenty of time to set up shots from both sides. And so for this shot, you're going to walk up to the second truck here, jump onto the back, and then walk up to the center of the cab here. And if you look up, there's this cloud formation in the sky, and there's this little tail that comes off at the top there above C. So you're just going to aim up until your bottom crosshair is on that little tail there. And if you aim it all the way onto the tail instead of to one side, it's going to hit, there's that rock formation to the right of C, or basically on top of C if you're on that side. So if you're on top of this little tail, it's going to ricochet off that and land right in front of the flag. However, if you aim slightly to the left, it's going to land actually on the flag. So if we throw one there, that one may hit the rock. We'll aim to the left a little bit more and throw another one. You'll see where they land here shortly. Alright, so that actually did miss the rock, and they both landed on the flag here. And you can see, this is the rock I'm talking about. Sometimes it'll ricochet off part of this rock and kind of land about right here. So if a player's leaving the flag, it may hit them, and that's actually happened to me before. But if you want them to actually land on the flag, yeah, make sure you aim to the left of that little tail on the cloud. But you'll see these actually land right on C. And again, most players that spawn on this side capture C. It's rare that they go the other way and rush to B, and so you'll have, again, plenty of targets to hit. Alright, we're going to start out with the straight ups to B, and then after those I will go to the more, they're kind of just random spots for high traffic areas and camper friendly spots that I found. There's just two for each, but that's two extras. So anyway, first we'll do the straight ups to B, and if you're on C side, this is the first one. You walk over to this Jeep truck thing here, you're going to walk up to this front wheel, and just walk in until you stop, just kind of in the center. And then again, line your bottom up with B and look up. And what you're going to do is throw it through these panels on the roof here. And although the shadow is going to make it look like it like ricocheted off, it actually didn't. It made it through. The only ricochet you have to worry about is like this log, and sometimes it'll hit this ledge and ricochet off. But the shadows are a bit deceiving because of the angle of the roof and everything, and you will actually see that these axes land right on B flag. And again, altering your location and angle just alters the landing zone, so you can play with that a bit if you want a different landing spot. But again, from there, this lands straight on B. And so now what we will do is cover the straight up spot to B from A side, and then I'll alternate back and do the alternate spots for the other spawns, because I have two for each. And so if you're on A side, what you're going to want to do is, you see this group of trees right here, these two little trees. What you want to do is, you'll probably be coming this way from spawn. You see these, you walk over here and just walk up. There's no like corner to walk into. You just got to kind of line yourself up with them. Just walk up next to these trees, and this one's kind of more judgment on the clouds again. And so you want to look up, line up at the bottom with B, and then that right crosshair is on the outside of this cloud formation. And so you want to just kind of stick it right there. And if you're straight on with B, as far as your bottom alignment goes, it doesn't matter too much where your right is. If you'd rather just use that, just kind of use the right side of that cloud for guidance. And so we're going to go slightly to the right, so we're straight on with B, and go slightly to the left, and throw another one, and those should land right in the center of B. So as you see here, the flag, or the axes land right in the center of B flag again, and so it's just a nice little straight up spot that's close to spawn. So if you happen to die out here or something, and then the enemy's jumping on B and you spawned at A, you can jump on that spot and throw them real quick. And as long as they don't have more than 2 people on the flag, they'll land there before they capture the flag. It's all about timing, really. If they have more than 2 people, they'll capture the flag too fast because the hang time is too long. But depending on when you throw them and how many people are there, you usually at least get one, if not more than one, and defend the flag. So that's a great spot for that. Alright, so now we're going to cover the second straight up to B from A side. And this one is not as reliable and just a little bit more difficult to set up than the other one. So unless for some reason you need to do it from over here, I would probably rely on the other spot because it's much easier and more reliable to hit. But what you're going to do is walk over to this tree here, and there's another corner you can kind of walk into. You kind of wedge yourself in here, and you'll stop. And you use your bottom crosshair to align with B because there's really nothing in the tree to align with. It's super obvious. So just make sure your bottom alignment with B is fairly decent. Look up, and then if you look to the side of the screen, you'll notice that this tree is kind of swaying back and forth in the wind, and that kind of causes some trouble here. So this big branch below my bottom crosshair swaying back and forth is what's going to ricochet these axes, and that's what you do not want. So basically what you want to do is wait till the tree is swayed all the way to the left, and then throw it because it increases your chances of making it through here. And so we're kind of going to wait, and then throw one, and then throw another one, hopefully. And that one actually made it well. I think, because the only problem is if you aim too far to the right, the axe will fall off of the platform and into the waterfall, and then it's gone. As you can see, these axes land right on B. It's just harder to get to this side because that branch blocks you from throwing it that far to the left. But you will land those axes straight on B, and it's just another spot you can use to get these defense on B. Alright, so now we're going to cover the straight up spot from C side to B. And this spot is a little more risky because you're further from spawn, you're kind of out in the open. So if they're pushing up from A, or actually even this way from B, you might be in some trouble. But what you want to do is you want to walk over to this crack in the rocks here, and there's another spot you can walk into, another corner you can wedge yourself into, and that's it. Align with bottom with B, look straight up. If you can find a spot in the clouds that you like to align with, feel free. I didn't find too many spots that I really favored as far as using for alignment, so I just trust my bottom alignment to use it. And this one you don't really have to worry about the waterfall as much, and so you can alter it side to side without really any trouble. And we'll run over here to B, and as you can see, they land right in the middle of B flag again. And so just another great spot for either, I mean, you can attack B, technically. It'll count as a defend if they're capturing or if they have the flag, but it's just a great way to get players off of B without having to show yourself. Sounds kind of like a weak way to play, but hey, you take what you can get, right? Alright, so now we're going to cover one of the more general spots, and this isn't a flag spot, it's just kind of like a high traffic area. And so this spot, what it's going to do is land axes through the window of the sniper hut across the bridge over there. So usually it's a pretty popular spot for snipers to hang out and look over B. So if there's any unsuspected snipers in there, these axes are going to be a pleasant surprise for them. So you're going to back into this corner, these couches here up on this little deck deal. So walk back here, back into the corner, and depending on your brightness and display, this might be kind of hard to see because of the sun, but there's this cloud formation, and there's this little sideways cloud right here that you can see. And what you're going to do is line your left crosshair up to the left of that. You don't want to be on it because it'll miss the window. However, if you're just slightly to the left of it, about yay much, and you can play with it a bit depending on where it lands, and you can see where they land, because sometimes they'll ricochet off the building and land on the platform that goes below the building. But if you're lined up far enough to the left, it'll land in the window. And so we'll go one right there and move it slightly and throw another one. Alright, so as you can see, the X's come through the window kind of from this angle because of where you're at. And so if a player's sitting right here, if you get the right angle, you hit them, but it's going to be fairly difficult. Most of the axes kind of just come in, kind of center of the window, and then ricochet back to this corner. However, obviously, if there's someone standing here, they're going to take that axe to the face. So another just little general spot for high popular areas, or high traffic or high population areas. Alright, so now we're going to cover another general spot. It's not a flag spot. Again, it's just kind of lands in a high traffic area, and this spot will land them on that ledge up there on the overlook that plenty of people use to overlook B. And so this will land it kind of in the, just right in the frame there. If they're back in the room, like against the wall or anything, it won't hit them. It'll probably scare the shit out of them if they see an axe fall right in front of their face, but they'll have to be either in, like in the doorway, or outside on the ledge for that to kill them. But you're gonna walk up to these stairs here, walk into the corner till you stop, and then look straight up. And then again, this is kind of the one, it's kind of difficult to see at first, but once you realize what you're aiming for, it's pretty easy to hit. And so there's this like lighter spot in the clouds right here, right in the center of my crosshair right now. You can see it, it's right there. And what you're going to want to do is line your left crosshair up basically right next to that. You don't want it in it like that or anything, but you want it just to the left of it. And if you see like there's this other light spot right here, like this line that comes down, you want to make sure your left crosshair is to the right of that, but to the left of that opening in the center here, right there. And so we'll go right about there, and throw in, and then move slightly to the right so it's right up against that opening, and then throw another one. And as you will see, the X's land right in that opening of the ledge. And so again, if anyone's standing right, like right on the frame, it'll kill them. Or if they're standing out here, it'll hit them on the way down. However, obviously if they're back in here, it's not going to kill them, but they're probably going to wonder where the hell those axes came from. Alright guys, well that's going to do it for this episode of Spots on Hunted. I hope you found these spots useful. And like I mentioned before, I kind of have been looking for more than just one spawn spot from each side and then one straight up from each side. I want to add more, as many spots as possible, because that just makes it better. More spots for you to try. It's more diverse, more fun to do it that way. And so I'm going to try and find more spots, especially those like high traffic area spots. If a map has spots like those, I will do my best to find locations for those. And I'm going to try and get at least this many for each map, if not more. And like I've mentioned before, if I find more detailed spots like on Combine and then on this map, and then I'm doing Nuketown later this week, if after that episode I find more spots, I'll be sure to upload those as well, because I just want you guys to have as many options as possible. And so if you enjoyed this episode, please leave a like. It's really going to help me out. Comment what you think or anything like that. And also, if you have map suggestions, leave those in the comments as well. I will basically go by a first come first served basis unless someone chooses a map that I know spots on already. I will do that. If no one suggests a map, I'll just pick one at random, although I'm sure you guys have ones you want to see. Like I mentioned before, a few of you have asked for Nuketown. I'm doing that later this week, so that will be up soon. So any maps other than Combine, Hunted, and Nuketown, if you want to see, let me know in the comments below. So until next time, guys, this has been Cosmic. Peace.